Hello everyone and welcome to Net Crypto, where you get important information and news about all coins and tokens of interest. And today we're taking another look at Scotty the AI, right? So now we have reached the time where most of the investors who have been logged into staking, remember the previous video we covered all the steps of the scam, right? And the seventh step is a lot of people are tricked into staking for 7 days, which means you are logged into staking when the token launches, right, for at least 7 days. So from today, from actually tomorrow or today, sometime today, a lot of people are going to be able to now be able to claim their tokens, right, and sell on the market, such as right on Uniswap. They will be able to actually start selling. And we did have a bit of a pump in terms of the price as well. We're going to be talking about that. So don't be tricked into restaking the tokens if you have been logged in the last 7 days. Make sure that you just claim your tokens, right? So now, where is Scotty going? So there is a difference, right, from the other scams that we have covered on the channel, like Bitcoin ETF, right, and even Green Bitcoin. Green Bitcoin, I believe, is actually same people with Scotty the AI. You can even see the website, right? This is something I've spoken about again and again. Some might get upset about me talking about this again, but some have not watched those videos, right? And one thing that I'm seeing that is different is they are now starting to talk about launching on major exchanges after pre-sale. It seems to be the same thing that they are talking about. Same with Scotty the AI. And Scotty currently has been listed on MEX, right? So MEX, of course, is not a top tier exchange, right? In fact, if we jump on CoinGecko, we can actually see that MEX, I think, is ranked somewhere in the 20s, right? So it's actually number 19th, right, MEX. So one thing that is important to know, just for your own information, very important, is if you check out MEX exchange, right, you're going to see that what differentiates a token from being a top tier and a low tier is the number of tokens, right? And you do see, even though it's doing a trading volume of 2.2 billion, it's got 2,156 coins, right? So this means that make most of their money, right, from listings, token listings, such as Scotty the AI and a bunch of other tokens out there. So that's where they make majority of their money from listings. Whereas if you take into consideration an exchange such as Binance, for example, right? So if you take, for example, such as Binance, BuyBit, right? These exchanges make most of their revenue from trading, right? So if there's a high volume of trades on their platforms, that's where they make most of their revenue. Because if you go into Binance, for example, you're going to see that they only have about 376 coins, right? Coinbase, right, is even more strict, right? They've got only about 240 tokens on there. So Scotty the AI is talking about a tier 1 exchange, right? What is that exchange? My guess is it's going to be, if it's tier 1, my guess is it's going to be OKX, right? It might be BuyBit, but I think it's OKX, right? And OKX is actually a tier 2, tier 3 exchange in disguise, right? Don't get me wrong. I use OKX. It's awesome. Its features, sub accounts, top notch, right? In terms of functionality and features and all that, OKX is number one. I even have an account, right, on OKX. I use it for trading, but it's actually masquerades as a tier 1 exchange, right? But in actual fact, I believe OKX is at least a tier 2, if not tier 3. The reason for that is because you see it's got 321 tokens, low tokens, qualifies as a tier 1 exchange. But one thing that a lot of people who don't know, who use OKX, right, if you don't use it, is they delist a lot of tokens, more than any other exchange, right? They delist tons of tokens for a tier 1 exchange. Most tier 1 exchanges, it's incredibly hard to get listed on them, right? And not on OKX. OKX is not easy, but is the easiest in terms of the exchanges that are highly rated, like the ones that get the 10 out of 10. So that's one just side note there about OKX, right? And in terms of OKX and Scotty the AI, I believe it's OKX, which is going to be the next exchange. And if that is going to happen, it's very important that in this video we also talk about Wall Street memes, because Wall Street memes had exactly the same promise to investors that this is going to be the next big thing, right? We're going to be launching on tier one exchanges. Everything is going to be great. We're going to actually go 100x. Same thing, advertising, multiple YouTubers, news websites, all that thing, right? And I even ended up investing into this one. Why? Because when a token, right, even some of these questionable tokens and all that, like a Pepe, for example, right, the only way you'll be able to identify a Pepe is through adoption, right? So I started to check the adoption for Wall Street memes, and I saw it was quite massive and it was moving quite fast. So I am also tracking the adoption for Scotty the AI. And one thing that I see on their Twitter is they've only about 12.8 thousand followers on Twitter, right? And in their Telegram group, about 16,000 currently, right? People following. So those numbers are not quite huge yet, but I am taking a look at them to see if there is massive adoption. Why that is important is, if you remember, I did tell you about the Big Brain Crypto Igbo Logbook. You can grab it on Amazon, link in the description, right? It allows you to track up to 70 pre-sales, right? So one purpose of this book that you can use it for is to track adoption, right? So no matter what the token is, these Kemi tokens and all that, you can start to track the adoption of the tokens. This is where you check the numbers on YouTube, on X, on Telegram, see how much they're increasing. And the other thing that you need to actually check is go onto CoinMarketCap, right? So if you scroll right down here, you're going to be seeing popularity, right? So here we do see popularity. It's actually ranked 4751, right? So this figure needs to improve significantly, right, for it to have any chance, right, of being the next Pepe. And one of the telltale signs of being the next Pepe, right, of a token is a listing on a tier one exchange. And of course, all these other lower exchanges, Get.io, Max, Lbank, Bitmart, you obviously need to get listed on those. But the one that is harder to get listed on is OKX. So you need an OKX listing. And once an OK listing is in, right, you can now start to look at things like crypto.com, right? You can look at things like, for example, Coinbase is incredibly hard, almost next to impossible, right? BuyBit is another one that you can get to look at. And if the popularity or adoption continues to increase, you're going to be seeing this figure on Twitter increasing. You're going to be seeing as well the Telegram, people on the Telegram increasing. You're going to be also heading over to the smart contract, checking how many people have actually, how many holders are there, right? Currently it's 10,000. You see these figures increasing. That actually signifies that maybe this token might actually be the next paper, irregardless of the scammy tokens that we've seen in the token and in the token, and you can make your own decision, right? Of course, this is not financial advice, but the rules, remember the rules I did speak about: never buy in the pre-sale, right? And if you have bought in the pre-sale, don't stake, right? Don't stake, because you're going to actually come up with those issues of being locked for 7 days and even being blocked from claiming. And by the way, if you have actually invested into Scotty and you were logged into these 7 days of staking, let me know if you're actually able to claim your tokens after that 7 days, because in the past I've had a lot of subscribers in some of these tokens, some of these scams, who were not even able to actually claim, right? Especially those that invested large amounts, right? They are just blocked from claiming. They just allow a lot of people who invested low amounts so that they can spread the word. I was able to claim, I made a 2x, 5x, whatever the story may be. So now you can see that the token is actually up, right? Because the last price of the pre-sale was 0.01, and the price before that was 207, right? So this price is absolutely not the accurate price for this one. But if they do get the OKX listing, right, we can expect something similar to what happened to Wall Street memes to happen to this one as well, right? Because once Wall Street memes was another scam token, when it was launched on OKX, it exploded, right? In terms of the pump, not really quite a huge pump, right? But it went from around 0.3, right, 0.3, and it went all the way up to at least 0.7. So you had a chance at least for a 1x. And this is one thing that I want to say out there, right? Not financial advice, my opinion. The moment that a token, like one of these pre-sale tokens, for me, I'll always only buy after the pre-sale, right? Because you can get scammed if you buy during the pre-sale. Even if it launches on OKX, even if it becomes the next Pepe. The only, if a token launches actually on OKX, for example, and you see that you have doubled your money, immediately divest your initial investment. So let's say you have put $100 into the token, and soon after an OKX listing, your $100 become $200. The moment you see that, divest your $100. That way, you have 100% safe investment, right? You have divested, you have secured your initial investment, and no matter what happens with the token, if it becomes the next Pepe, great, right? If it doesn't, well, it doesn't, right? Like now, when like this Wall Street memes, the moment that it reached this price of 0.07, and then it just started to tank, and up until today, right? Even the Bitcoin pump and nothing is waking this thing up, right? It's dead, right? Even its tombstone by now, it needs to be cleaned, right? It's 73% down. This thing was listed on the so-called top tier exchange, OKX. So it was a scam, this Wall Street meme. So I believe it's also in the same range, right, with Scotty the AI, but adoption is something that you have to watch very closely right now. So let me know, right, if you were logged in the 7 days, are you able to claim your tokens? Are you able to sell? I'll be also looking at the price movement, right, because since a lot of people now have actually been if are now will now start to unstake, right, and claim and sell, possibly we're going to be also looking at the price movement to see how things develop. So this is my update for this one. Let me know what you think. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.